Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, guys. And thank you for our outstanding, out of this world tech crew that's here today. We have Carter and Garrett and Reed. We're so glad you're here. And my name is Marcia Warren Lewis. I'm the staff member here at Unity of Nashville, and we are so glad you are here. I am the ministerial assistant and pastoral. And as you have surmised, Reverend John is not here today. And he will be back next week. And we are so blessed and honored to have Martha Creek speaking to us today, someone that you all know and love. And it is going to be fantastic. Unity was established as a prayer ministry. And we continue that tradition by praying for each other every night at 9 p.m. and upon rising. And the prayer for this week is as follows in our tradition. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I reaffirm my willingness to be whole and well and free. With trust and thanks. Amen. And that new key phrase, I reaffirm my willingness to be whole and well and free. With trust and thanks. Amen.
Serenity. Seem overrated? So who's keeping your serenity from you? Who's the matter with you? So hi, everybody. Today is a day so auspicious, a day that you waited your entire life for. Today. Did you get a memo? Did you know? Did your eyes fly open this morning and you go, today's the day. Today's the day that I'm going to take whatever I've been espousing to believe and see, is it true? So what if serenity is an option for me? What if I'm the last to know? Serenity is an option. Give me the courage to change what I can. The courage to accept what I cannot. The will to change what I can. The will to accept what I cannot. And the good sense to know the difference. And all the power in the universe lies in that. So hi, Unity of Nashville friends. Hi, world. Hi. Hi to your awakening. It's such a joy to serve with you today. My mission is to serve those who are serving, so I believe and know that your place in the world is a place of consciously evolving, of progressing your own soul, and the why for it. And knowing that anything that we do deliberately, intentionally, is also contributing to conscious evolution, to the soul of humanity, to the soul of the planet. So it's important to pray. It's important to meditate. It's important to follow traditions that mean something to us. Maybe 12 steps for some of us. And whether you relate to being an addict or not, you may not be on those hard things. You may not have been arrested for that. And then what is it I'm addicted to? To being right, to being the know-it-all, to being an expert, addicted to people following my advice. They better listen to me. I know better than them. It's like, welcome to hell. So then step 7 today in this progression of using these very powerful traditions of 12 steps to say then, step 7, whoever puts it in the chat first gets a prize. Who knows what step 7 is? To humbly ask. To humbly call for support. To humbly ask and ask and ask and ask and ask again for God's support to remove shortcomings, to elevate me into the upper room of my mind, out of this regressive, animalistic reptilian way of being that knows to fight and fight again and confront or hide and shut down, crawl away, or to freeze over, deny. So what would you today just suppose it's true? I'm not asking you to believe it's true, just suppose it is. Imagine it's true that today something exists for me if I will humbly ask to have a shortcoming removed from me. What would you ask to be removed? What would you pray and pray into and uplift in prayer and meditation to begin to imagine who you would be without that shortcoming? How would you be in the world without that little booger or big booger? Who would you be if it suddenly just slid off of you? If you suddenly just, it was done? What would that be like? Imagine. How would you be in the world? A different experience of the world. So then we look at this, and if you're into Scripture, there's scriptural support for this. Have mercy on us. Have mercy, God, in your goodness, in your great tenderness. Wipe away our human fault. Wipe away our human patterning. Wash me clean. Wash me clean of guilt. Wash me clean of shame, of believing that I'm going to have a different past than the one I had. Wash me clean of believing that I can change what's as over as it's ever going to be. And purify me, purify my thoughts, purify my heart, purify my attitude. Purify me so that I may be quicker and quicker and quicker to extend grace, mercy, as it has been impressed as me, impressed through me, expressing now through me. So then we think about, well, no, wait a minute, didn't we read somewhere that God already knows what we need? So is there anything that God doesn't know you need? But then, oh, wait a minute. But didn't we hear or read somewhere, like, knock, enter into the kingdom, seek? So you hold the power for this. So nothing's being withheld. Although to this tantruming mind, it'll look like something's being withheld. So then asking then through thanksgiving, through willingness, through surrender, through serenity, asking, knocking at the door, and then opening the door. That then life says, come in, see what you have, see what's possible for you. So there's a book called that I reference and used in a coursework that I did about a month ago called Breathing Underwater. Learning to Breathe Underwater by Richard Rohr. So those of you that want another reference, even if you have a lot of reference, maybe that's one for you. So then today, to be more mindful, more conscious of what are you saying to God? What are you saying about God? And if God's not your word, it's fine. Just drop it and use whatever works for you. Life, universe, essence, love, mind, pick one. What are you saying about that? What are you saying to what created all that is? What's your relationship with that? Herein lies the power of the universe. So then we'll come in, well, I don't know how to pray. I've never had a course in praying. Oh my God, I got to read a book on prayer. It's like, no, falsehood. Pray the way you know to pray. Pray the way that feels right for you. Pray the way that uplifts your spirit. Pray the way that would give word to emotion, word to the pain, word to the grief, the spoken word of that. So just pray. Kind of snap out of this notion that there's a right way to do it. And then through your own humility, through your own humbling yourself to say, I've had just enough of this. I've had just enough of this suffering. I'm going to see what else is possible, and I'm going to proceed in that direction. And then instead of wondering where God is and believing that God is not on my side or God doesn't have my back, it's like, wait a minute, God hasn't moved. So I've been unaware. I've been unaware of breath, of being breathed, serenity, presence, power, faith in what is not seen, real potential, infinite potential there, more limited potential when I have to have my way, or they better listen to me. So our symbiotic relationship with life, with whatever you call it, a synergy exists there that's larger, much larger than I know yet, or any of us know yet. So we have glimpses, and then it's like the potential of that as we interact with that, as we get in atonement with that, in at one with that, then a new potential exists. I dare you to test it, to see, how's that true? Not is it true, how's it true? And what would my life be like if I was leaning just a hair in that direction as I continually pray, take away the knucklehead in me and my knucklehead ways, and give me the strength not to be a knucklehead when they're being a knucklehead. And I'm going to pause and presence myself and then proceed. And the longer we do this, the more practiced we become, the more potential that's activated. And you know this from anything you've practiced, that practice makes progress. Practice makes mastery. Practice makes elevated consciousness. Practice makes more access to the upper room, the neocortex, the large part of the brain that's seldom ever accessed if we stay stuck in the lower brain, the more regressive reptilian brain. So take a big deep breath and see that there's serenity here in you, as you, accessible. And our real truth, our real power won't come from what we espouse to know. It will not come by us quoting 12 steps. It'll come through our embodiment of 12 steps, our embodiment of humbly asking and asking and asking, and then doing and doing and doing, realigning, choosing again, choose again, even with the allure to choose again. Like, I believe I've had just enough of that. So then our real truth has to do with how we situate ourselves in the world. Not what you claim to believe about the world, Not what I claim to believe, but how I'm going to relate to the world. So how I situate myself in the world and how I situate myself with things in the world is where my power is, in yours, and that's where your truth is. So there are ways of living and relating that are more honest for us, more sustainable. This is our de facto operative truth. Your truth. My truth is not your truth. My integrity is not your integrity. I don't know a thing about your integrity. However, you know a lot about your integrity. And you know when you're in stress and worry and defeat and despair that you're out of integrity with yourself. To say, okay, then how am I going to return to integrity? How am I going to return to serenity? What's another choice for me? So then, every faith tradition has taught us this prayer. Every faith tradition has taught us to pray without ceasing. How would that look in your life if we actually begin that now? So instead of just a platitude, it becomes de facto. I pray, I watch what I say, I watch what I think, I watch my actions. I'm aligning, I'm adjusting. And then to see that this is my opportunity to have a different relationship with life, a different relationship with God, a different relationship with sobriety. And I don't know yet what sobriety is, and neither do you. Now, you may have capped the bottle, you may have left those drugs, and it's like, and Godspeed in that. And then the thinking that causes us to reach for that substance is still to be dealt with. So true sobriety then is objectivity about this thinking. Being able to observe the thinking and to observe the thinking that would cause me to reach for anything. To say, there's another way now, and I'm onto it, and you're onto it, and today is the day. So step 7, humbly ask and ask and ask and ask God, life, essence, creator, universe, whatever you call it, to remove shortcomings in me, to rewire this reptilian tendency, this lower vibration of energy that is animalistic, to evolve me. And I'm a participant. I'm going to put some skin in the game on that. So before I fire off that email, I'm going to pause, humbly ask God to remove the shortcoming of temper, of righteousness, of indignation, of anger, of rage, of fear, of enrage out. And I'm going to ask that be removed and then presence myself and then respond. And don't dare go after your faults by yourself. Some of you will know what I mean by that. Others will go, what? So don't dare go after your faults yourself, because you'll go after the wrong ones. It's like you have a nose on your face too, and you can't see the thing. I have a nose too, and I can't see mine either. But I know I have one. So I'm going to get a sponsor or a mentor or a clergy or a chaplain or a minister or a friend that'll tell the doggone truth to go in with me, to look at what these shortcomings are. And you're working the steps. You've had some encouragement to do reflection and contemplation and inventory. Now, The key is to drop the shame, drop the guilt. Pray that that be lifted, pray that that be removed. And then without shame and guilt, then go back to your inventory. Go back to where you weren't your best self. Go back to the parts you weren't proud of and bring compassion now and understanding, grace and mercy. Bring a different consciousness to those wrongs, to those regrets, and for sure, to those resentments. If you try to pull out the weeds, you might pull out the wheat. Matthew 13. So instead, let God, one, reveal your real shortcomings. Like, let it be known, not try to figure it out. Like in introspection, contemplation. Let life reveal that. Notice when you're off. Notice when you're stressed. Notice when you're not proud that you did that. Notice when you have regret. Allow God to remove these daily, morning, noon, and night, breakfast, lunch, and supper, again and again and again, to offer it up, offer it up, offer it up. And to know that God's doing this, and God's doing this in God's timing, darn. So my job is to pray, to offer it up, to follow the steps, to follow my commitments, what I'm here to do. And the spiritual desire is the drive from God in us to know something greater, to not let our good get in the way of our great. So the steps are to be applied, practiced. And you will know then in a deep and insatiable desire that you have for something greater is also the impulse of life, the impulse of God for us to have that also. And then to surrender. Important to ask, important to seek, important to keep yourself, and important to keep myself in right relationship with life, with God, with situation. So let's think about this then as we pause to meditate, to contemplate, to be quiet. God grant peace today. God grant peace today, tonight. We cannot change these feelings. We cannot change these feelings with control and predict and control. Your love, your presence is the only thing that will fill this hole. Let your grace wash over us. Grant peace here and now. Help us know serenity. Help us value serenity. Help us shift our addiction to serenity. God, give us an open heart. Open our hearts. As we see the errors that we've made, remove the need to be right. Serenity tonight. Help Help us to surrender our old ways and grant us resilience and grit and the stamina, the uncommon motivation to go to every length for a new way of being. Sobriety, clarity. We know our pain is not in vain. Make us strong and wise, and to know when to listen, and to know when to speak, when to help another, and to know what help actually is. Make us strong and wise, and give us an open heart. Grant us peace tonight, right now, and ongoing. So a big, deep breath. And get a sense of a born-again experience for you. That you've shed a skin today. Put on a new pair of glasses. Determined to begin again. So this work, this mighty work that you're here for, impulsed and empowered by something far greater than any of us can comprehend. With all my love to you and appreciation, I bow to you, your work, your life, your evolution. And if I can support you in any way, get in touch with me, marthacreek.com. There's all sorts of classes and free videos and podcasts that are all free. You're welcome to any of that would support you in living this out. So as we close here, it's our prayer for protection. I hope you'll pray it differently today. A new prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is weller today. All blessings.
There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
MarthaCreek.com if I can support you. Blessings.